I caved. I made another horse video. Damn it. Despite the fact that I pretty aggressively bowed out of the MLP fandom a few months ago, I still went to BronyCon this year. I was actually invited to Crystal Fair St. Louis again this year and had a fantastic time at both places. Of course, one question pervaded when people crossed my paths at these conventions. What are you doing here? It's a fair question to be sure, especially in light of me not having keeping up with the show as of late and burning the bridge with the community. I'd be lying if that thought didn't cross my own mind a few times while at these cons myself. It was odd to be there and not understand all the references, or recognize all the characters in the fan art and cosplays. For the first time, I felt like an outsider at an MLP convention, and while off-putting, it wasn't that all surprising. After all, I had done that to myself. When returning from BronyCon this year, I made a tweet reflecting on my weekend, something to the effect of, BronyCon is a reminder that the fandom is better than my comment section would imply, and returning from Crystal Fair, I feel the same way again. A lot of my misgivings with the fandom that inspired that brash final video seem to have not solely come from the MLP fandom, but the intersection of the horse fandom and YouTube culture in general. To take it even a step further, I really shouldn't have let such a vocal minority color my perception of an entire community so negatively. However, I have a nasty habit of dismissing the positive and focusing solely on the negative, especially when myself, or what I create, is in the mix. It's not a good thing, and it is part of a larger mental condition I'm struggling through that I'm not really going to get into here, but know that I'm aware of it, and working on getting better. There was also a lot of influence in that video from some rather bad company I was keeping that I've since distanced myself from. Again, details aren't necessary in this video, and I really wouldn't want to get into it anyway, but it's something worth mentioning. Not to wipe my hands of my own sins, quote unquote. At the end of the day, I pulled the trigger, but the video probably would never have gotten made were it not for this individual's insistence. For some reason, I gave their insight and approval a lot more weight than it deserved. So I suppose the question on everyone's mind at this point is, are you saying that you're going to start reviewing My Little Pony again? And the answer to that question is basically no. Despite my misgivings over handling the situation the way I did, I still stand by a lot of the things I said in that video. The MLP community is tonally very different than what it was in 2012, and I think anyone who's been knee-deep in horses at the time would agree with me. While the tonal shift is largely the result of the community growing, it's true nevertheless. In addition, my honeymoon phase with MLP itself is also long over. That fervent obsession that led to the creation and continuation of this channel has faded. And now, after taking a break and coming back to the show again with a fresh perspective, it's just another cartoon that I enjoy like anything else. And I'm personally really happy about that. I can balance my interest in MLP with all the other great pieces of media available right now, and look at them all while being able to write stuff and draw stuff without feeling compelled to keep it all pony-centric. I can have some balance in my life, which in hindsight was not there at all from 2012 to 2014. Looking back on the degree that I was invested in My Little Pony, it's almost a little embarrassing and a bit unnerving. I've never been that obsessive over a single TV show, and I hope I never am again. Between technology and storytelling, the last thing I need is another obsession. Am I looking for forgiveness or expecting things to go back to the way they were with my place in the fandom? Absolutely not, and I don't want them to. I don't think it's even possible. I only slightly purposely insulted something a lot of you guys like, and in many cases unwittingly insulted people's lifestyles. Even if I was only referencing a general sense of tone in the community overall, as well as a small group of dissenters I gave way too much personal pull, it still comes out as an attack on everyone, and as the one who wrote the words, that's on me. However, as much as it bothers me that I insulted so many people, I don't think the right way to proceed is to go back to what I was doing and pretend nothing ever happened, even if that was the course of action I wanted to take. Which is why, as much as a blight on the channel it is, I won't be pulling the Appaloosa's Most Wanted video. It's just much a part of this channel's history as anything else, even if it was a mistake. But to go back to reviewing episodes would just put me back on the same path and will inevitably lead to a similar conclusion and another outburst all over again. Instead, I'd like to think that perhaps, occasionally, I could bring the show up just like I would any other cartoon, when it does something particularly noteworthy, one way or the other. Essentially what Paleo does with his channel. In fact, that's probably what I should have done from the very beginning. We all would have been better off. Rarity Month is clearly right up my alley and something I had a lot of fun with, and something I wanted to talk about. Why should I let an anger-fueled video from earlier this year that I've already stated I was sorry for prevent me from doing something I want to do and what a lot of you want to see? I'm not afraid to admit I was wrong, and make no mistake, I am admitting I was wrong with the way I presented that video, even if I don't think I was wrong in everything that was said in it. I am under no illusions about that. So, a quick vlog on Rarity episode should be posted alongside this one. If you are still interested in my thoughts on Dress Horse, give it a watch. Or don't. Either way, expect MLP in the mix on occasion, though not often. I still like the show, so it should still be on this channel. Even if it gives that neckbeard who wouldn't stop emailing me some credence. You're still an asshole, Becky.